my name is Fiona D'Souza and I'm from the Shekhinah Wellness Centre. Today I want to share with you how I've been so well supported and positively impacted by the works of Jordan Peterson, specifically his 12 Rules for Life. And yes, you can see that my copy is very well worn and dog-eared, and clearly I've spent a great deal of time reading through it. And yes, I'm one of those people who does this to a book. You can see how I've marked and asterisked and underlined all sorts of concepts, because that's where it speaks to my soul. That's where I can resonate with and implement some of the principles and kind of claim a me too. Thank you for aiding me in realizing that that kind of behavior pattern is in fact acknowledged and recognized. And the one that I want to share with you is, I was reared in the 70s, and yes, my belief is that we are all to some degree a product of our generation, to some degree. And in those times it was taught that meek and mild, well-mannered, agreeable personality traits were the way forward. To be agreeable, and the more agreeable you could be, particularly as a woman, meant that would open a successful, happy life. It was the hard way that taught me that no, that is not so. In fact, the more agreeable you become, the more you lose your footing, the more you lose your sense of self. And the more you lose your sense of self, the less people respect you, the less people will value you. And as I say, I found that out the hard way. And that breeds deep within you a sense of anger and resentment towards people, towards life, towards social institutions. And you become quite resentful and angry. And this is the exact process through which I went. Being schooled, being raised to be agreeable, polite, cooperative, and yes, there are spaces where all of these traits are certainly valuable and useful. And then to step into particular religious institutions which supported these concepts even further, I'm going to make the claim that they in fact crippled me. And they crippled me as pretty confident, pretty articulate person. So when I came across this passage in Jordan Peterson's work, it really went such a long way to giving me internal permission to say it is okay to be, if you like, the bad guy. If that's what you want to call someone who says no, who places a firm boundary. Like me or don't like me, that's my boundary, that's my no. Who claims value for themselves. And I'll share with you, I'll just read it directly from the book, where it says that people are bullied because they won't fight back. It continues to say, it also happens to people who have decided for one reason or another that all forms of aggression, including even feelings of anger, are morally wrong. It goes on, and this is the first chapter, and this is on page 24, to say, if you say no early in the cycle of oppression, and you mean what you say, which means you state your refusal in no uncertain terms and stand behind it, then the scope for oppression on the part of the oppressor will remain properly bounded and limited. The forces of tyranny expand inexorably to fill the space made available for their existence. People who refuse to muster appropriately self-protective territorial responses are laid open to exploitation. And that in so many ways was the journey of my life throughout my 20s and my 30s. It's therefore become my work to open up that space of mental belief system to others as early as possible. Yes, there are times to be agreeable and to be cooperative, consciously, not because it is a socially ingrained trait which we imagine or believe will please others. So go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that we can have more of these discourses and you can explore what we're all about at the Shekhinah Wellness Center. Go ahead, hit subscribe, and I'll see you again.